bit extreme though, isn't it?
As a fitter, you'd have to explain that, I think, to the consumer, because he might actually think that that's what he's going to get.
It'll take 20 minutes, won't it? Yeah. Right, Lester, test time. AP2 718, putting it up against the T100, brand new out. Let's put these up against each other and see what numbers we get from them. Lester on the camera, I'm going to hit some shots, get some ideas of what they look like, what they feel like, obviously give you some numbers as to how they're performing against each other. What do you think, Lester?
I think I should be in front of the camera. I
think you should be in front of the camera, you're right. We'll probably get you in front of the camera a little bit later, but let's hit some shots, let's get some numbers for you. Right, AP2 to kick us off with then. Now, I nearly put these in the bag, the AP2, from a fitting point of view 2 years ago. The AP2 probably came out as the best fit for me personally, and the reason for that was because they spun just a little bit less than what I was getting out of the CB and the MB, which I'm being a slightly higher spinning player. These kind of worked out really quite nicely for me. But do you know why I didn't?
No, why?
Because I couldn't handle the offset. And I know it's tiny, but the difference between the offset of the AP2 compared to the CB, which I'm currently using in the 718 range, was quite noticeable for my eye. So it was just something that kind of put me off a little bit. And obviously I'm also looking for as thin a top line as I can possibly get. And the CB just offered me just a fraction thinner in the top line. That was the reason why I didn't go for it. Here's a good one for you. So when you go and get fitted for a set of these, you're going to see a little lump in the back of the neck there. So this is to do with how they're trying to weight it as best they possibly can for when you go out and get fitted. For then when your clubs arrive, they're trying to make sure the weight is perfectly in the fit to then obviously fit into what your irons are going to feel like when you get them.
But that is just purely a fitting.
It's just on the fitting. You're not going to see that in the actual heads. Let's say that you order that's not going to look like that. I mean,
no.
Cool. It's a bit extreme though, isn't it?
As a fitter, you'd have to explain that, I think, to the consumer, because he might actually think that that's what he's going to get.
So when I look down, I'm not seeing that lump.
No.
So that's definitely not affecting my eyes looking down at that.
It's hidden, isn't it? Which is good.
It's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
It's definitely hidden. So yeah, not bothering me looking down at it now from a fitting tool anyway. So first visuals, like lovely. Like this is now, you know, one of the things that Titleist have done with their CB, MB, and AP2 equivalents, so T100, they have made them all slightly less offset than what they were in the past. So straight away, this now looks like my CB from my set in the 718. So now straight away, this club is really looking good in my eyes. Like I just love the look, the feel off the face is the same. It feels the same as what I'm getting out of that AP2. Solid, not tinny, just a nice solid forged kind of feel off the face.
Looking down at that, could you tell the difference if you didn't know what it was in your hand between the CB, MB and that? So what about a possibility of a combination?
Yeah, I absolutely couldn't agree more. Like, so for me, let's say that I wanted to go and I've spoken to guys about this already, about the possibility of comboing in an MB into a CB and then even into like T100. You know, I could see a lot of players maybe that hit the CB, let's say, that want to go up to like 6-iron or 5-iron in the CB, but could game the T100 in the 4-iron, because the 4-iron again looks absolutely stunning when you look down at it. But for me now, I'm thinking, well, what's the point? What's the point in me going CB? You know, because ultimately the numbers were really good from what the AP, and we'll look at what the numbers come with this one in a moment. Well, the AP2 numbers for me were really good, but I didn't like the look of it. This now looks fantastic, and if the numbers are as good as what I was getting out of the AP2, what's the point in me going CB? Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, totally. Would you, looks-wise, you'd gain that then all the way through the bag?
Why not? Like, I'm just thinking, let's make this game as easy as we can, shall we? So having something that's maybe got a little bit of help more at the back, it's going to bring my spin down a fraction more. You know, I don't see a problem with sort of putting this in the bag right the way through the bag.
Would you say that it could have been a bit of feedback from tour players to actually make that less offset, make it look like
I think so.
a little bit like the other irons, the better players' irons?
Yeah, I absolutely, I agree. I think that's absolutely the case. That's what's happened. They've certainly not listened to me in these videos, but they've
I don't even listen to you.
No, nobody listens to me, but like they've definitely had some type of feedback from tour players to say, look, can you just give me a little bit less offset? And they've probably done it so many times that they're thinking, well, if that's obviously a problem here. You know, why would we put it out into the market? Not to suit the eye of a player that's going to want to use this club.
I guess you're increasing the actual playability of the club and the people that would actually purchase it now. From a marketing point of view, it's ideal, isn't it?
I think you're right. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like, offset is there. I think if you think about offset, you think of somebody who needs a bit of offset to maybe stop them losing it off to the right or whatever. But you take a good player doesn't necessarily need that help. So why give that help when it's not necessarily needed? It just doesn't. Good player offset doesn't, in my mind, doesn't kind of go together.
Doesn't equate, does it?
Yeah, I love it. I think the feel, the looks, the sound. To me, this is the package. This is the whole package that what AP2 didn't quite offer. This one now offers that. Should we have a look at some numbers? Okay, let's look then. So we've got AP2 at the top and then T100 at the bottom. Obviously, all these numbers are going to be subject to my strike on the performance of the day, but you can see here 114 average with the AP2 compared to 116.7 average, so an extra couple of mile an hour ball speed out of what I'm getting from the T100 compared to the AP2. But if you go best to best, look, 117.7 to 118.1. So on a good one, it's not a great deal of difference in there, is there? If we look at launch angles, 19.9 compared to 20.2, so exactly the same. And then look again, 7.4 spin compared to 7.3 spin. So, but look, 7.391 to 7.4. So it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Nothing in it again from that point of view. Peak heights, if we look 33 yards high with the Titleist AP2 compared to 35 yards high with the T100. Carry distance 155 carry compared to 159. If you go best to best, we've got a 160 and a 162 out of what I'm getting off the AP2. So again, nothing in it from the numbers that I'm getting here. So there you go, you have the numbers from the AP2 to now the T100. For me personally, I just love the package that this offers from a looks point of view. It's actually quite exciting to see the numbers be as good as they are or as consistent as they are from what the AP2 offered me. So really there's nothing in it. You could argue that the ball speed on an average was a little bit higher off the face from the T100 compared to the AP2, which again, Titleist are kind of saying that they've got a little bit more ball speed out of this range compared to this range. Spin, again, very, very little in it. If anything, slightly lower in the spin from what my averages are giving us, but again, nothing in it from what I would take from that. Distance-wise, again, that's going to be subject to obviously ball speed and then obviously the spin numbers that I get from it. But you can see there that the T100 was getting maybe a few extra yards, extra carry than what I was getting out of the AP2. But best to best, the AP2 had the T100. So again, absolutely nothing in it. For me, I absolutely would go with the T100 over the AP2. I just love the look of this. It's one of the big things, it's the big story for me from Titleist, is when they come to their kind of players clubs, which is T100, CB and MB, I just love the fact that they've taken as much offset away as they possibly can from what I can see there, which has really helped my visuals looking down. Let me know, put your comments down below. Have you tested the T100? Are you an AP2 player and kind of excited about moving into T100? I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are in the sort of 712s or 714s or 716s in the AP2 that are maybe looking to switch over to T100. Definitely worth testing from a visual point of view, absolutely worth testing. I don't think you're going to see a great deal of difference in your numbers, but definitely worth testing. We look forward to catching up with you again soon. Thanks for watching.